10 lives lost. 10 friends, neighbors, sisters, brothers, parents, colleagues, community members, families that are grieving today, woke up today without their loved ones.
Pain and disbelief in Boulder.
I wish I'd told her even more, what I thought about her and how much I loved her.
Colorado is hurting as family and friends struggle to come to terms with the horror of Monday's attack.
You don't think that it's going to happen to your neighborhood, and it does. It's a shock.
I'm just trying to do my best to not break down right now.
Tonight, neighbors are gathering, leaning on each other for support, finding the strength to get through this together.
Makes you really realize how precious life is and how quickly it can be taken away.
A memorial is growing and flags are flying at half-staff to honor the 10 lives lost at a Boulder King Soopers.
And we are learning their stories of Coloradans who just took a trip to the grocery store on a Monday afternoon. Tolana Bartkowiak, she owned a clothing store with her sister. Her friends say she went to that King Soopers just to pick up some medication. She was just 49 years old.
25-year-old Ricky Olds. She was a manager at the store. Her family says she had an infectious giggle and a smile that could light up a room.
Suzanne Fountain helped retirees transition to Medicare. Co-workers say she was warm, caring, full of life. She was also involved in the theater community. Kevin Mahoney, the 61-year-old, had just walked his daughter down the aisle last year, and his daughter wrote on Twitter, quote, "My dad represents all things love."
Terry Liker, a 51-year-old store employee, had worked for King Soopers for 30 years. 23-year-old Nevin Stanisic. He was at the King Soopers to service a machine at the Starbucks. Officer Eric Talley, a father of 7, who ran towards the gunfire to save as many lives as possible.
Denny Stong, the youngest of the victims, just 20 years old. 62-year-old Len Murray. Len was filling an Instacart order when she was gunned down. And Jody Waters, she was just 65 years old.
And our thoughts and prayers are with all of these families tonight.
It's such a tragedy, but it's good to see that we can all come together and sort of deal with this together and that we're here for each other.
You brought the whole family out today. What did you tell the kids? What was the discussion like to come out today?
Yeah, we just talked with our daughter about what happened, and she's kind of upset as well. We live close by.
Go to the store. We go to the store.
This is your King Soopers?
Yes, it's our King Soopers. We know lots of
we probably know all day.
You had some flowers, I think, when I saw you all walk in. How did that make you feel, being able to bring flowers today?
It made me feel a little better about the situation.
That little girl said that's where they go to get ice cream. And that's what you heard from all those people is, this is my King Soopers and this is what I can do to show I care.
And really, it could have been any of us. And for friends of Jody Waters, they wish they had one more day to tell her how much they loved her.
Meet Jody Waters.
A gentle spirit.
With a charismatic personality.
Jody sparkled. When she walked into a room, she was a breath of fresh air. A light.
She had a keen eye for design and bright green eyes that drew people in.
When she looked at you, you could just feel the love coming through her eyes and into you.
Stephanie, a friend of more than 8 years.
She was very generous of spirit.
Says even at 65,
she had this sense of design.
Jody's dreams and aspirations were limitless.
Her dream for the future was to open another clothing boutique.
An opening day she'll never see or experience.
I think what everybody says at these kind of events, it hit home really hard.
Scott tuned in as the terror unfolded.
And then it just got worse and worse and worse. You don't think that it's going to happen to your neighborhood.
Or that their dear friend would be a victim.
Just shocked that she's now gone from this world.
Gone after a trip to King Soopers on Table Mesa Drive, where crime tape now marks the place she took her last breath.
And that somebody would have just taken her life and he didn't even know her. It was just such a random act.
Stephanie and Scott posted a tribute to Jody on Facebook.
Jody was a beautiful soul with a warm and loving heart.
And friends shared their memories of her.
We were dance moms together. Our daughters had many sleepovers.
Looking back now,
I wish I'd told her even more, what I thought about her and how much I loved her.
but they say they know deep down Jody would want people to focus on the great life she lived.
Living life with excitement.
And love.
A mother of two and grandmother who loved horses and hiking.
We know 3 of the people killed in the attack were King Soopers employees.
Denny Stong, Terry Liker, and Ricky Olds showed up for their shifts at King Soopers yesterday, and they never made it home.
We spoke with Ricky Olds' aunt and uncle. And her family says she was a hero. She risked her life as an essential worker during this pandemic. Of course, what they didn't expect was this kind of danger.
Ricky graduated from Centaurus High School, attended Front Range Community College, and then worked her way up to management at just 25 years old. And tonight, her family, like so many, grieving.
I mean, look at those blue eyes. And she's giggly and bubbly and just you couldn't be sad around her.
Why? Why did you choose that King Soopers? Why did you shoot my niece?
Exactly. Why? I mean, maybe at least we can get an answer to that.
We certainly hope to get an answer to that question, why, in the coming days.
Just a few hours into his shift at the Starbucks inside King Soopers.
I kind of stepped outside, saw someone shooting, ran back inside, more shooting when I got inside.
Logan Smith was talking with a friend before the shooting.
I saw him run off, I ran in the other direction, and that was the last time I saw him.
20-year-old Denny Stong was killed. He worked at the King Soopers, and Logan said he was just stopping in for some groceries.
He's my best friend, he's a brother to me.
Logan wouldn't find out about his friend until the next morning, but he was worried when he couldn't reach him last night.
I immediately had a ball drop in my gut. I knew that something was not right.
He was also friends with another employee who was killed, 25-year-old Ricky Olds. Logan says they went on a break around the same time and they were getting back to work when the shooting started.
I barricaded one of my coworkers behind multiple trash cans within the Starbucks kiosk, hid her, and then tried to find a place for myself.
In all the chaos, he was thinking about his friends, wondering if they were okay, wondering where Denny was.
I had so many friends there that day, and so all of them were on my mind.
Students feel safe knowing that officers like Officer Talley were willing to be there and that they really put themselves on the front line.